Okay, the second part of today's lesson, we'll look at solving natural log equations using properties of logarithms. The properties of logarithms that we learned before, they apply to the natural logarithms as well. And when we solve these equations, it's helpful to actually compare your answer, compare your solution to what you could get from Desmos. So I'll do that. I'll show you how to do that. So here we have an example, the natural log of 5 minus the natural log of 3 times x equals 4. And so to solve this one, we'll use the quotient property of logarithms. And so remember, subtraction involves division. So I have the natural log of 5 divided by 3x is equal to 4. Then we'll use the inverse property. We'll take e raised to the natural log of 5 divided by 3x equals e raised to the 4th. Okay, we'll apply the inverse properties of logs. And then so now we have 5 divided by 3x is equal to e to the 4th. I'll multiply both sides by 3x. I'll multiply both sides by 3x, and then that will give me then 5 equals 3 times x times e raised to the 4th. And then I'll divide both sides by 3e to the 4th. So my solution is 5 divided by 3e raised to the 4th is equal to x. So let me do that with my calculator, and then I'll do that, compare my answer to Desmos, just to make sure I did that right. So 5 divided by 3e raised to the 4th. So let's do that. As soon as my calculator comes up. There we go. So I had 5 divided by, in parentheses, 3, and then second e raised to the 4th. Close off the parenthesis, and that gives me 0.0305 approximately. 0.0305. So let's see here. So this is approximately 0.0305. Okay, so I'm going to go out to Desmos, and then what I'll do, to verify this on Desmos, I'll just set this side, one side of the equation equal to 0. It's like I'm finding the 0. So on Desmos, I'll subtract 4, and I'll have y equals the natural log of 5 minus the natural log of 3x minus 4. And so I'll be finding the zeros, if you will. So 0 equals the natural log of 5 minus the natural log of 3x minus 4. Okay, so here's my equation, natural log of 5 minus the natural log of 3x minus 4. And when I graph that, let's see here, there it goes. I want to see when it crosses the x-axis, what's the value of y. So yeah, so there it goes. It checks out, 0.3053. So checks out, good. Let's look at the next example here. The natural log of 4 plus the natural log of x squared is equal to 5. So we have addition of logs. So remember, addition involves multiplication. So of what you're taking the log of. So I'll have the natural log of 4x squared. 4 times x squared equals 5. And then I'll take e raised to that and e raised to that. And then that will be inverse properties. And then that leaves me with, what's that, 4x squared equals e raised to the 5th. Then I'll divide by 4. And so that gives me x squared equals e raised to the 5th divided by 4. And then I'll take the square root of both sides. That's the square root of everything over there. And so that will give me x equals plus or minus the square root of e to the 5th over 4, which equals the square root of e to the 5th over 2. The square root of 4 is 2. All right, and so I'll just do that with my calculator. That's the square root of e to the raised to the 5th divided by 2. So let's see here, square root, where are you? Square root of e raised to the 5th. Square root of e raised to the 5th. So that will give me that, and then divide that by 2. And that will be 0.609. So x is approximately equal to plus or minus, what did I say? 6.09. Oops. Okay, so let me graph that. Again, when I go to graph this on Desmos, I'll just set one side equal to 0. So I'll have y equals natural log of 4 plus the natural log of x squared minus 5. And I'll be finding the zeros when y is equal to 0. Okay, so a natural log of 4 plus the natural log of x squared minus 5. And let me zoom out. There it goes, it's coming into view. So let me see here if I zoom back in. And that was about, yep, 0.600. So that was 6.091. And then on the other side, negative 0.6091. So let's check. Yep, plus or minus 6.09. And finally, the last one. So I have 4 times the natural log of x minus 8. I could first employ the power property. I could move the 4 up. I think it would be easier, however, just to leave it like it is. And so what I'll do first is I'll just add 8 to both sides. I'll get 4 natural log of x equals 8. Then if I divide everything by 4, I'll get natural log of x equals 2. And then I'll take e raised to the natural log of x equals e raised to 2. Inverse properties, that's just x is equal to e squared. Which will be, let's see here, so e squared. So 0.7389, so x is approximately 7.389. And again, I can graph that on Desmos just like it is, all right? So y is equal to 4 natural log of x minus 8, and I'll be looking for the zeros. And I should see 7.389. So let's take a look. So, yeah, so there we go. 7.389. Okay, so solving natural log equations, they're just like solving the other log equations. You apply the properties of logarithms. And always check your work, though. Using Desmos is a great tool to have.